Okay guys, we've got some more MXGP 24 gameplay to show you. It'll be coming up here in just a minute or so, but I do want to mention we did have the official gameplay from KT Racing that we went over the week before, and most everybody agreed it does not look good. It looks very, very rough and just huge worry time. It's a huge worry time right now for the next MXGP game, which will be coming out by the time you see this video. It'll be coming out in like 22 days maybe. I'm not sure when I get this video up, but yeah, huge worry. There were a handful of players that felt like it wasn't necessary to worry. They have time to fix it, and it looked okay to them. I strongly disagree with it, but hey, to each their own. Their 2 cents, and if they feel that way, that's fine. But here we're going to be jumping in pretty soon to this early gameplay, and some of it you probably have seen. Some of it has been floating around YouTube for a while. One of them I think you're less likely to have seen, so we're going to start with that. We have some first-person gameplay from, I'm not sure if they're the one that played it, but Haggy17. First person, you can see here the same problems do exist. Now, it looks a bit better, but cornering still looks really rough. Now, it does appear they're going into the turns pretty fast. Maybe they have to slow down a bit more, or maybe just the cornering ground physics are that bad. We don't know for sure, but based off of what we see here, what we're going to see today, and what we have seen already, it isn't looking good. Here's some third-person gameplay from Radcat, and this is the one I feel like probably a bunch of people saw. This looks bad. And the worst thing about it, it doesn't really look any different from what we saw in the official gameplay pre-order trailer. It looks basically the same. It is a huge worry. This is really concerning. Not even concerning, worse than concerning. This is not good. The cornering does not look good. It looks slippery. It looks very hard to just get a grasp of it, you know? They're bouncing off the banners and the tough blocks and flying into the air. It doesn't look good, and it was an actual player. It was actual players playing the game. So they had a booth that set up at Motocross of Nations, and I didn't talk, but I did get a few comments from people that did play the game. So they had a booth that set up at Motocross of Nations for people to try the game out, and that's what they were experiencing. So while that gameplay maybe looked a little bit worse, I mean, it was from a real person playing the game. It wasn't from a dev trying to make, the game look the best they could. And you might sit there and say, well, that official gameplay trailer didn't look good. No, you are right, I agree. But they weren't flying all over the track, you know what I mean? So they were keeping it within the bounds of trying to make it look acceptable. And no, I don't believe it looked acceptable, but they weren't flying all over the track, hitting the banners and whatnot. So we kind of get a picture of what it looks like from an actual player playing, and we don't know how good they are. Maybe they're really good at the games, and maybe they're not. We don't really know, but I found that kind of interesting, and just getting around to covering it now. Now, another thing, I guess, that is really concerning is I did have a message from somebody that I do believe played it, and they said that it feels like Jeremy McGrath Supercross World or whatever. I played that game a tiny bit. They made I believe they made 2 different ones. I'm not sure which one he's talking about, but I wouldn't disagree. I really wouldn't disagree, and that game came out a long time ago. What I really thought of when I saw that gameplay from this video, from Motocross of Nations, was Supercross 2000. Remember, you could put up the invisible barriers to keep you on the track? So you would go through the rhythm section and just bounce off the sides of the rhythm section, the out of bounds, because you had that invisible barrier. That's kind of what it reminds me of. But, we're in 2024, right? We're in 2024, and this is a huge, step back, regression for the games. This is, and I know it's their first go, but dude, I mean, you guys, I really, and I said it, you've made motorsport games before. I don't know if this has to do with the strikes that have happened. For sure, one of the strikes probably affected the development a bit. I don't know if the first one would have affected it too much, but for sure, that probably didn't help. And then I really think they should have done this for 2025, starting in 2025. It would have given them a bit more time to get going on the game and try and have something that the players want. I mean, I would, even if you're a suit at the top making decisions, I would much rather see a game players want to play and enjoy and actually do buy, because motocross is a small genre of video games. No matter how big you think a game might be, I mean, MX Bikes is a big game. It's still a really small genre of game. I think anytime on Steam, because it's only on Steam, at any point in time, there's like 2 to maybe 3,000 players. So it's consistent. And I'm saying that's a good player base, but it's still really small. So you need to get every player you can on board with your game and happy with your game so you can continue to make a profit on it, right? I mean, that's our goal, is make a profit on the game. And I really don't know if this one's going to. Having to design it from the ground up and then not having sales, I don't know if it's going to make any money. Now, maybe they can improve the game with patches. I think there's a limit to how much they can improve, but maybe they can improve it with patches, and maybe the second version, year 2, will be better. We don't really know, but this one, I've pretty much all but lost faith that this game can be good. Maybe they'll shock me, and it's going to be way better than what we're seeing here, but we just got that gameplay trailer, the pre-order trailer, a month away from release, and you would have to assume, even if you say, well, it's probably an older build or whatever, there's no way. You would want the game to look good, right? You'd want the game to look really good so that people are excited and would pre-order or whatever. You would have to assume they were trying to do that. So based off of what we know and what we've seen, I don't have high hopes that this game is going to be okay or not be a complete disaster, I guess. Disaster is the word I'm looking for. A complete disaster of a release in a dirt bike video game, a motocross video game. And I kind of mentioned it, about pulling the IP, but I highly doubt that ever happens because, one, MXGP probably just cares about, do they have the riders, the teams, the sponsors, does all that look good? Tracks look good. They probably think it's just a video game, it's goofy, whatever, we don't really care. And two, why they probably won't is because I highly doubt there's too many studios that are jumping at getting the licensing to do MXGP. Probably not too many studios for it, and I'm not saying because it's MXGP, I'm saying just any officially licensed motocross, supercross stuff. Probably not too many studios jumping at trying to get that. So for those reasons, they probably will develop a game over the next 4 years now, 5 years, 4 years after we get this one. So I know I saw some of your guys' comments, and I know I tried to respond to some of them, and there was a small handful of people that felt like it was an okay thing, but really, what do you think about the game? What is your biggest concerns? What area of the game is your biggest concern after seeing all this gameplay? Mine is honestly the physics. We talk about it all the time, but if the physics suck, the game is going to suck. And I feel like the ground physics look really, really bad, and maybe they can improve it. And again, no whips. They said they'll have them in when the game releases. Well, what does that mean? What in the world does that even mean? Are we getting patched in push button monster, energy drinks and push button, hit the A button, hit the X button for a whip? I don't know. Really concerning, really worrisome. I don't, I want the game to do well. I don't like seeing games do this. It really sucks. It really does suck. And then to ask for $60, it's like, what? What? Are you out of your mind? Most players are not going to pay $60 for what they're seeing here. And that pre-order, man, that was supposed to get you excited. That worried everybody. That scared everybody away. Everybody that was even thinking about buying the game, it took off for the hills. They're running away screaming. They're going to have nightmares forever. You can't release a trailer like that to hype people up. Although, in their defense, in KT Racing's defense, they didn't post it on their social medias or YouTube channel. They just gave it to Nakon. Nakon probably said, hey, we need a pre-order trailer, give us something. And so they do it, but I really do believe that KT Racing doesn't think they have a great product right now. I really do believe they know it's not in a good place, and they're trying to do the best they can with the time frame they have, but, they're just limited. And I'm not trying to defend them because it should be better, but they have a little bit of an excuse. They've never really done a motocross game, but you would assume working with motorsports games, this would be better. So it feels like they developed this game in like a span of like 2 or 3 months. That's what it kind of feels like, but I doubt that's the case. I don't know. I'm just talking. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good, but I'm curious to see how you guys feel. So let me know down in the comments below. If you haven't seen the official gameplay, it should be an end screen here at the very end of the video. But you guys and girls are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support on the channel lately. It really does mean a lot. And until the next video, take it easy.